Hi, Sarah from SEWNZ, Sewing Patterns in Children's Clothes. Chances are you're here to find out how to sew the H&G skirt. I've got the sample already. So we've got a little skirt, little straight skirt, very simple to make, has an inner yoke, can be elasticated, and two little secret pockets that are quite hidden. Let's get sewing. Okay, so we've got the master pattern for the H&G skirt, and I've cut a size 6 pattern out in Violene, noted where the markings are, the size and how many to cut. Right, ready to cut the fabric out. So we've got our pattern pieces cut out. We have the back lower skirt on the fold, front lower skirt on the fold, the back yoke on the fold, the two inner facing yokes on a fold, and over in that top corner is the front facing of the pocket, ready to sew. Okay, we're doing the front of the skirt. With right sides facing, place the front skirt yoke on top of the pockets. Line it all up with the markings, pin in place and sew. So we're pinning at the skirt edge, pockets, the marking on the front. So we're going to sew along to the top of the pocket, down the pocket, across the pocket, up the pocket, along the front, and the pocket again and off the edge. When you're coming up to these little corners here, you can do a little back stitch to make them more secure. So I've finished zigzagging, and what I've done is a few stitches of straight on the corner to make it nice and crisp. We're going to press this with the seam allowance going towards the skirt hem. So we've pressed the seam, and you can hardly tell the little pockets are there. Okay, so now we're doing the back of the skirt. We've got the right side facing of the lower skirt and the right side of the yoke, matching the markings centre back, and we're going to pin across, ready to sew with zigzags or stretch stitch. Okay, same as the front, we're going to press the seam allowance down to the bottom of the skirt. Right, so we've got the two facings for the yoke on the inside. Right side's facing, pin at the side seams and sew with your stretch stitch. Right, with right sides facing, we're going to do the side seams. Okay, I've put the skirt together right sides facing, and I've pinned from the waist to the lower hem, the hem of the skirt, and I've matched it at the yoke seam so that it looks good when it's finished. Sew with a stretch stitch. Okay, so I've sewn the seam, and I've also trimmed off a triangular piece at the seam allowance on both sides. This helps to reduce the bulk when pressing the seam towards the back. Our skirt's coming along, still the little secret pockets you can't see. So we get our facing, and I've pressed the seam allowance one way on both sides, and I'm actually going to have it opposite to the seam allowance going towards the back. This will be coming towards the front, and that just reduces the bulk as you are sewing, and once it's on. We're going to match the markings around the top of the waistband and at the side seams. Okay, the facing is attached by a pin, and we're about to sew it with a stretch stitch. Okay, facing is attached. We're going to press it open with the seam allowance coming to the inner yoke, and it's at this stage that if you want to put the underwear elastic on, you measure around your child's waist and make it into a loop, add 2 centimetres to join the loop, and evenly quarter the top of the skirt, pin it on and sew it on with zigzag, and fold it over, ready to attach the facing to the skirt. Okay, so at this point you're either going to attach the facing to the skirt by zigzagging to the seam allowance on the inside, or you're going to top stitch on the right side. I'd be using a twin needle, and obviously sewing on the right side, we've got to make sure that we know where the openings of the pockets are. Okay, so I'm going to top stitch, I'm going to use the twin needle as my stretch top stitch, so I'm going to sew from the edge of this pocket across to the beginning of the next pocket, then going to start at that edge of that pocket and come all the way around to the edge of the other pocket. And I've also snipped off a little triangle at the hem to reduce the bulk when hemming. Right, as I'm actually going to top stitch this with a stretch top stitch, I may as well do the hem at the same time, so I folded it to the wrong side with a 1.5 centimetre hem allowance. Going to do the top stitching. Okay, so if you're attaching the facing to the seam allowance just on the inside, you'll see a zigzag stitch between the pockets and around the back. If you've decided to use the optional top stitch, you'll see top stitching between the pockets from one side of the pocket all the way around to the other. And the hem's done. Finished. Hi, thanks for watching how to sew the H&G skirt. There is a link below to the SEWNZ.com website, also to the Etsy shop. Have a look at the other videos on the channel. I like sharing how to sew each step of a pattern. It's a great way to be able to learn to sew. Happy sewing!